Overview for 1 Peter. Purpose. Peter wrote to the scattered Christians of the early church, following the Lord's instructions for him to strengthen thy brethren, see Luke 22:32, by encouraging them in the face of their intense suffering and persecution. Author, Simon Peter, one of the 12 apostles. Time period covered, possibly around AD 60 to 64. Emperor Nero's extensive and intensive persecution of Christians took place from AD 64 through 68. During this time, believers throughout the Roman Empire were tortured and killed for their faith. History indicates Peter was executed in Rome during this persecution. Date written. Bible scholars believe this epistle was written between AD 62 and 64, perhaps before Nero's official persecution began. History. Because the Christians of this time were under such intense persecution, they often used code words to disguise their actual locations. Many Bible scholars believe that Babylon was a code word for Rome and that Peter was there when he wrote the epistle. See 1 Peter 5:13. A historical timeline of events in Peter's life. AD 26 to 27, Peter was called and followed Christ. AD 30, Peter denied Christ before the crucifixion. He later repented and on the day of Pentecost proclaimed with boldness that Jesus had risen. AD 40, the Lord revealed to Peter that salvation is for the Gentiles. Cornelius and other Gentiles with him were filled with the Holy Ghost. AD 63 to 67, Peter wrote 1 Peter and 2 Peter. AD 67 to 68, Peter and Paul were martyred in Rome. Setting. Once Nero had made his official decree that believers in Jesus be attacked and persecuted, many Christians were forced to flee for their lives, and the church in Jerusalem was scattered throughout the Mediterranean world. Peter wrote to Christians in 5 Roman provinces in the Black Sea area: Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, where many had apparently tried to find safety. However, the letter was also intended to be read to all churches everywhere. Emperor Nero died in AD 68, which brought a temporary lull to the persecution, but soon after, a new round of fierce persecution began. Summary. Peter himself summarized the purpose of the book of 1 Peter. In chapter 5, verse 12, he offered concluding thoughts on his letter when he said, I have written briefly, exhorting and testifying that this is the true grace of God wherein ye stand. Peter earnestly urged the dispersed Christians to have patience, hope, holiness, and endurance in the face of hostile mistreatment and persecution by those who wished to see this growing faith destroyed. His focus was on their attitudes in these trying situations, and he encouraged them to remember the inheritance God had promised them. In chapter 1, Peter began his epistle by writing of the believer's character in their current circumstances, introducing the subject of holiness. He challenged them to holy living and explained how holiness was provided and experienced in daily life. From chapter 2 through chapter 5, verse 9, Peter advised Christians on how holiness would lead them to conduct themselves in various types of relationships, especially in times of suffering and persecution. He concluded the epistle with personal salutations from the church and a prayer for peace. First Peter 1 through 12. Devotional focus verse. That the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Jesus Christ. 1 Peter 1:7. The first year of our marriage was, in many ways, a difficult time. After the exhilaration of the engagement, the wedding, and starting a new life together, we came back to earth rather abruptly. We had been married about 2 months when we were traveling home from a Thanksgiving vacation with my husband's parents. Going through the Blue Mountains on the highway, we suddenly hit black ice. Our little Volkswagen Bug somersaulted through the air, bouncing like a rubber ball. A truck driver who saw the accident thought we had been killed, but God had His hand over us. There were many miracles that happened that night. The biggest? We were alive. The ambulance attendants, however, feared that my husband's back was broken. The next few hours, days, and weeks were a time of pain, ambulance and medical bills, loss of our car, time off work, and questions of why. Our faith was tried as Satan mounted an all-out offensive from several directions. Because of the unexpected bills, we had very little money. We can laugh about it now, but one morning my husband came to breakfast to find the noodles from a can of chicken noodle soup on his plate. For lunch, the broth from the can of soup was in his thermos. At Christmas time, a caring family brought us a 99-cent special Christmas tree and shared their ornaments. Had they not extended this kindness, I am not sure what we would have come up with for decorations. The trials continued to come. On his birthday in January, my husband's car was sandwiched in a 3-car pileup in the snow. With front and back damage, the old car we had purchased was totaled. Later, when my husband was narrowly missed by another car, he pulled over to the side of the road and just cried. One evening, after 6 months of marriage, my husband came running up the stairs from the basement where he had been working on a project with his table saw. He was screaming, "I think I just cut off my finger!" We jumped into the car and raced to the emergency room. There we learned the thumb was almost entirely severed. After emergency surgery, the doctor told me there was only a 2% chance that the thumb could be saved. After much prayer and much more time off work, the doctor informed us that my husband would keep his thumb, but it likely would cause him a lot of pain. Those were great trials for our young marriage. As Peter termed it in our focus verse, they were each a trial of faith. However, God was so gracious to us, and we had many reasons to offer praise and honor to God as the days went by. God healed what looked to be a serious injury to my husband's back. God enabled us to pay our bills and purchase another car. My husband's thumb improved, and it has caused him no pain. As we look back on those hard places now, we see that they were a time when God showed His love to us in a special way. We learned to trust Him more, and we saw that He never did forsake us. That first year of marriage was a time of great faith building, which we now see was more precious than gold. Today, let us remind ourselves that the trials we face in this life are part of the refining process which prepares us to meet Christ and benefit from the joys of heaven forever. It will be worth it all when we see Jesus. Background information. The Apostle Peter began 1 Peter by identifying himself as the author, indicating who was to receive the letter and giving a greeting. Verses 3 through 12 reminded these believers of their hope and inheritance, exhorted them to rejoice and trust God even though they were experiencing fiery trials, and told them they lived in a time anticipated by prophets and angels. Peter knew that those reading this letter were facing difficult times. They faced opposition from the Jews who did not accept Christ as the Messiah, and they were ostracized, imprisoned, and sometimes martyred for refusing to worship Roman gods and idols. The apostle reminded these people that they were chosen, elect, and that all 3 members of the Trinity, God the Father, Jesus Christ the Son, and the Holy Spirit, were active in their redemption. Verse 3 praises God because out of mercy he has begotten us again, or given the second birth. Because they are born again, Christians have a lively hope. See verse 3. An inheritance that will not perish. See verse 4. And salvation. See verse 5. Meaning eternal life. Christ's love was shown by his death, and his power to save was shown by his resurrection, causing his followers to have this lively hope. The inheritance God promises is incorruptible or imperishable. Earthly treasures can crumble, wear out, or be damaged, but the inheritance of the Christian will not decay. This promised inheritance is also undefiled, without pollution, and fadeth not away. Athletes in New Testament times were given awards that were counted valuable but faded and lost their splendor quickly. In contrast, God's inheritance will not diminish even slightly. These promises are for those who are kept by the power of God. The Greek word translated kept was a military term and indicated a garrison protecting a city. Peter wanted these believers to have a mental picture of God's power protecting them as soldiers with the single purpose of defending a city. Knowledge of this protection only comes through faith in God's strength and ability. His final salvation, or eternal life, is ready to be revealed in the last time. It is already prepared and will be manifested at God's appointed time. In verses 6 through 9, Peter acknowledged the current situation facing these people. They had many and difficult trials. The apostle wanted them to understand that their sufferings would prove the validity of their faith. When gold is heated, impurities rise to the surface for removal, and heat also tempers steel. In like manner, Christians are perfected and strengthened by heated trials. Peter was telling these embattled Christians that they were experiencing the grace foretold by the Old Testament prophets. Those prophets, and even the angels, had longed to know more and to truly understand salvation and its implementation. Christians living after the death and resurrection of Christ know and possess this salvation, which should give them courage to hold on in trials. Conclusion. Peter told the Christians of Asia Minor that they could greatly rejoice in their salvation, even though they might have many heavy temptations for a season. When you are going through the fire of affliction, focus your thoughts on Jesus Christ, and you can also rejoice with joy unspeakable and full of glory.
Of Peter, chapter 1. Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, elect according to the foreknowledge of God the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit, unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Jesus Christ. Grace unto you, and peace be multiplied. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, which according to his abundant mercy hath begotten us again unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, to an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, and that fadeth not away, reserved in heaven for you, who are kept by the power of God through faith unto salvation, ready to be revealed in the last time. Wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations, that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Jesus Christ, whom having not seen ye love, in whom, though now ye see him not, yet believing, ye rejoice with joy unspeakable and full of glory, receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls, of which salvation the prophets have inquired and searched diligently, who prophesied of the grace that should come unto you, searching what, or what manner of time the Spirit of Christ, which was in them, did signify, when it testified beforehand the sufferings of Christ, and the glory that should follow. Unto whom it was revealed, that not unto themselves, but unto us they did minister the things which are now reported unto you, by them that have preached the gospel unto you with the Holy Ghost, sent down from heaven, which things the angels desire to look into.